Indica is a weird game, but more than anything else, it's a very story-focused game, and the story itself, it's very reminiscent of like A24 movie. Like if you're a fan of their type of movies, their independent filmish type, weird stuff. It kind of feels like that. It feels like a video game version of that. At a core, I guess you could say it's a walking simulator. But I mean, there's some puzzles here and there. They're not that hard. I'm normally just really bad at puzzles in general. And even for me, I mean, I got stuck on like one or two that took me more than like 5 minutes to figure out. And that's just, like I said, I'm just bad with puzzles, so I think the average person is just not going to have an issue with that. The story itself is actually just very kind of like simple, like at a core, right? It's you play as this nun has some issues. It's clear that she has some mental issues, and throughout the game, you're hearing the voice of the devil. Now, whether it's the devil, the actual devil, or it's in your mind, I mean, it doesn't really clearly cut say that, but so you might just come with your own conclusions or something like that. Okay, one thing I really did enjoy about this, okay, when I say it's like an A24 movie, I mean that, and it's like, I feel like just watching this, like, I don't know if it's just the voice acting or it's more than that. The general feel, it feels like something that was like some art house direction. Although it gets pretty weird and kind of trippy sometimes. I mean, it switches when you go through her backstory. It goes into like a pixelated type game, and it kind of gives you some story with her. She's basically just some chick who just became a nun. Not that she didn't necessarily want to, but her circumstances made her feel compelled to, I guess you could say. She is going through, I guess you could say, like a religious crisis or something, a crisis of faith. And during this journey, you meet this guy who's like a prisoner, an escaped prisoner. And you go on this little journey together to, I'm not even sure, just to, I guess, deliver something. They talk about their faith, and just like when the devil talks to her about, some contradictions or just like some weird outlooks on like what the definition of sin is. That's what really kind of just makes this feel like a movie. More so than a video game, despite it having like I said, pixelated graphics during like certain parts of the game. You gain points. Well, I don't like this. Sometimes you like pray to like a picture of some type of saint, I think, and then you'll get like these faith points. And the points it's actually meaningless. And despite the video game structure, it still feels very real. Like I said, especially if you chalk it up to her like mental illness and the things that she sees that are clearly not the case that's there, that it makes it kind of really puts you into like her mind. So like even the pixelated stuff doesn't take away from that realism of the game. It takes place in an alternate history, like in Russia. I don't know too much about the time period in general, what's going on in that place, but it's definitely alternate history. They mention it. Well, they don't outright say that it's like alternate history, but just the certain things are set up. It's like not what happened in real life, I guess. But anyway, the game was $25. I thought it was a little expensive, but at the same time, I'm happy to support this game. There's a beginning and end. Although I did feel like the ending, I probably would have wanted more from an ending, but at the same time, I get it. I don't hate it or anything like that. It just, honestly, again, to keep repeating myself, it feels like an A24 film. And yeah, like I said, it's basically just what it is. Something that you control. You don't have any dialogue choices or anything like that. You just literally get from point A to B. But how you get there and that journey itself, I feel like it's definitely worth playing. It's a fairly short game, which I kind of love. I'm tired of playing these long epics. Ironically, though, this one, I would have loved it to probably been a little bit longer. It reminds me of a Plague's Tale somewhat, and like not in the same way like Plague's Tale gave me like anxiety, sense of dread and everything like that. Just the walking to a place. You know, like you take away the puzzles, you're just like going up ladders and just like moving from A to B. If you wanted to support the developer, and this game looks kind of interesting, and you don't mind shelling out $25 for it, then yeah, then do that, because like I said, I have no regrets with that. I'll probably go on sale just like everything else in the future. I don't know if it's something you need to necessarily rush out the door, but I would like to see games like this that are just extremely creative happen. And when I mean creative, just like the story itself. I mean, I would like legitimately watch a movie about this. And also, really quick too, I want to point out, I probably there's definitely a trigger warning in playing this game. So if you're sensitive with things that have to do with like sexual assault, probably would want to skip that if that's the case, or just, you know, be warned. They probably maybe should have put a warning there. The graphics are fine. In fact, there was a couple of times that I was like, well, especially when I saw the trailer, I wasn't sure if it was a video game or not. It almost looked like it could have been some type of what's the word I'm looking for? You know, like half CGI, half like actor playing it or something. But yeah, that was pretty neat, and that really gives you know, the immersion point of like just in the story really do help. They feel like real people. The main character herself, it seems like she's a young woman who's probably stuck in the wrong time period that she should have existed in too. I enjoyed her as a character too. She's not one note. She's definitely a complicated person. You know, she goes from just being a young girl who joins the, you know, convent. How do you say the convict? Or was that like a thing? Anyway, joins the nunnery or something, and just starts living this really mundane life. I mean, in the very beginning of the game, like, the first thing you do is like you go back and forth between water and from a bucket, and what you do is you know, pull the lever down where the bucket to get the water, switch it into a bucket, then walk slowly to bring it to like the door, and then you go back and you do that like 4 or 5 times. And it really, like, it sounds boring, and that part is boring, but it felt necessary because it definitely feels like it gives you an idea of what her life is. So it adds more context to this little adventure she does get into. And I don't know, it's like, I've said it in my other videos that certain video games that make me just feel something probably are the games that I really like the most. And I felt for this person that existed, you know, and the way she questions things and like just her faith. So it's also like a very unique game. It, like, despite it having so many similarities with other games, like just in terms of how it feels, it still feels like a very fresh and new idea. And it almost sounds like a cool idea, like someone said, like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if, you know, you had to go on this journey as a nun, and but the devil talks to you, and he's like constantly trying to test your faith and just giving you like some pieces of dialogue that make you kind of question things back and forth. And yeah, this sounds like an idea for a great story, or just even like a movie or something. And they put it into a video game, and there was, throughout the entire game, I just was enjoying myself. Like I said, I would have been happy with an extra 2 hours, especially to kind of like add more to the ending. But I'm not even going to put the ending as something I criticize, although I would have liked something more clear cut. It does fit with the entire like story and the way it's structured, and So anyway, that's my video review for this game, Indika. I played it on the PlayStation 5, and yeah, thank you for watching. Have a great night, or day, whatever time of the day you're watching it.
No, you don't need that. Let's go.